Hello everyone, welcome back to the Analyst by Vajiram and Ravi, dated 19th August 2024. Today again we will be discussing some important topics that has appeared in today's The Hindu and The Indian Express newspapers which are very relevant for your exam. In our first topic we will look into various aspects of lateral entry in civil services and how it will impact the current bureaucratic setup. Then in our second topic we will look into the issue of migration in India. After that we will look into various aspects of tragedy of road accidents. Then we will try to look into some basic details about Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, or abbreviated as FSSAI. After that we will try to look into some basic details about Indian Coast Guard. Then at the end we will look into some prelims snippets which will help you in excelling your prelims exam. So stay tuned. So our first topic is lateral entry in civil services. The context of this topic is that Center has opened a fresh round of lateral recruitments from private sector and elsewhere into the senior post in the bureaucracy. This particular topic pertains to syllabus of your GS paper 2, role of civil services in a democracy. Now most of you who would be watching this particular video will be civil services aspirant. As you people know, to become an IAS or to get recommended by the UPSC, you give prelims exam, both the GS as well as CSAT exam, then you give various papers in the mains exam, and then you give interview, and then you are duly recommended by the UPSC. Then after completion of probation period, you become IAS. But under this lateral entry, what happens? The union government is doing appointment of specialists from the private sector through the interview, and they are doing these appointment in the current bureaucratic setup. Now the rationale behind this is to get the expertise of these private sector people so that the efficiency of our bureaucracy can be increased. Now mainly these lateral entries are being done into the mid to senior level hierarchies. Means the people who are getting selected as a lateral entrant, they will not be appointed as a district magistrate. Rather, the vacancies that are open, they are for deputy secretary, director and joint secretary in the union ministry, which are mid to senior level positions in the current bureaucratic setup. Now this lateral entry was recommended by Niti Aayog in its 3-year action agenda and also the group of secretaries on the governance. As per the reply given in the upper house by Minister of State Jitendra Singh, he said that till year 2021, 63 appointments were done through lateral entry. Now after you get selected through this UPSC exam, you are posted as SDM or Sub-Divisional Magistrate Probation. The nameplate that you will get in your first posting, it will be written SDM P or probation. It is equivalent to Under Secretary in the central government. For a brief period during probation itself, you people after getting selected will be appointed as Under Secretary also in the central government, so that you can get well versed with the working of the central government as well as the structure of the central government working. So this is the basic hierarchical setup of the bureaucracy that we have in India as of now. Now, what are the process of lateral entry recruitment? First, the selection process is done by the Union Public Service Commission. The Department of Personnel and Training or DOPT asks the UPSC to conduct the selection process for lateral entry. They publishes the information that how many vacancies are there, what are the domain expertise required, then what are the criteria they have to fulfill. Here, after publishing all the details, UPSC invites the online application. Then submission of applications happen. The UPSC conducts interview of the shortlisted candidates and they are now finally recommended through the list by the UPSC. These recommended candidates are then appointed by the government generally for a period of 3 to 5 years. There is a contract period for which these people are appointed. Then why there has been this need for lateral entry? As per the central government, the government is facing shortage of officers. There is shortage of 22.48 or almost 1510 officers for the IS cadre according to Department of Personnel and Training. Now one question may come in your mind that if central government is facing the shortage of the officers, why they are not recruiting them from the civil services exam that they are conducting, for which you people are preparing? The reasoning that is given by the central government and especially the Labasna, that is the training center situated at Missouri, they said that they cannot accommodate more than 180 IS officers. They cannot provide proper training for more than 180 officers. That's why government recommend 180 vacancies only. The 180 vacancies are only published every year because Labasna find it's very difficult to give proper training to more than 180 officers because they have no lack of proper infrastructure to accommodate more than 180 IS training officers. If you look into the IS and both the IPS, they have a combined shortage of almost 2,418 officers. Another reasoning given by the central government is that these people who are getting selected or recommended by lateral entry, these domain experts can be recruited from the private sector to the central administration, and they will improve the efficiency and create a competitive environment in governance delivery. For example, let's suppose there is a person who is recruited from one of the PSU, that is Coal India Limited. Now, this person who have first-hand experience of various challenges and possible issues that are plaguing the coal sector, they can recommend, they can frame better policies to ensure the proper functioning of Ministry of Mines or Department of Mines. So these people who have domain expertise can help in better framing of policies as well as better execution of policies. What are the different benefits or pros of lateral entry in civil services? First, as we have discussed, the expertise and the specializations that these people who are coming from the private sector will be providing, that will help in reducing the red tapeism in the bureaucracy, that will improve the efficiency and working conditions of the bureaucracy. They will also bring innovation and fresh perspectives. The bureaucratic setup that we have today is riddled with redundancy. The laws are outdated. They are not getting updated in due time. So it is believed that these people who are coming from the private sector, they will bring some innovation and fresh perspective that will further improve the efficiency of the bureaucracy. Then this will also help in shortening the learning curve. What does it mean? This learning curve which generally is given, that a particular probation or a particular person who is getting recommended by the UPSC faces, that what is the time he is taking to learn the things that he have to use while working for the government of India. So the experts believe that these people who are coming through lateral entry, since they already have domain experience related to that particular domain, the time that they will be taking to learn nitty-gritties of that particular sector or that particular area will be reduced. So government will save some of their financial resources that they have to spend while providing for various training and expertise to the general people who are generally getting recommended through IS, through general exam. As discussed, it will again improve the efficiency, and it will also help in the changing the work culture, because the private sector have better work culture in terms of the efficiency that they bring, in terms of target delivery that they does. So the current bureaucratic setup, which is somewhat riddled with red tapeism and slow decision making, might change through coming of the people from the private sector. Then it will also help in participatory governance where we have proper participation of private sector and citizens also, so that more citizen centric governance can be provided. If we talk about various issues of the lateral entry, there can be cultural and bureaucratic resistance from the current bureaucracy who are part of the bureaucratic setup that has been recruited or that has been recommended by the general exam that is conducted by the UPSC. There might be resistance from them if the people are coming from the private sector. Then these people who are coming from the private sector, they do not have public sector experience. So they might find little difficult in adjusting with the bureaucratic setup of the government of India. Then there is also potential for bias. Crony capitalism is a word that is used. So there might be an issue that these private sector people may work for the benefit of the private sectors, private companies. There might be collusion between them. Then short-term focus, since these people are only getting recommended for few years, that is 3 to 5 years, or there is a contract period. So they might not help in longer vision, or they might not help in making long-term policies. Then the profit motive versus the public service. What happens? the private sector is more profit oriented rather than public service, whereas the government or the public servants, the IAS people, are more oriented towards public service rather than the profit motive. There might be some issue in balancing this profit motive versus public service, especially from the people who are coming from the private sector. Then the constitutional mandate for affirmative action. Some of the political parties who have raised their apprehensions is that these people who are getting recommended through lateral entry, the provision for reservation or affirmative action is not given under this lateral entry. So, this constitutional mandate of affirmative action is being violated. This is the apprehensions or allegations of some of the experts and the opposition political parties. Because when people are getting recommended through the general exam that is conducted by UPSC, you people will be well aware that there is a clear provision of reservation for different sections like OBCs, SC, STs and economically weaker section, which is not present in this lateral entry. So what should be the way forward? The first and foremost, that there should be a clear selection criteria. This selection criteria should be very objective, and this should be told to the initial aspirant beforehand so that there is no controversy or confusion regarding this. Then there is need for role clarity and integration. The people who are getting recommended, we should have a clear idea whether we are taking them for policy formation, policy execution or for some other work. This will be a good step for overall bureaucratic setup as well as for those lateral entrants also. Then performance and evaluation framework. There should be a evaluation framework, proper evaluation framework at a regular interval for the people who are getting recommended. There should be proper oversight mechanism to look into their work, whatever work they are doing. Then there is need for balancing the core values and the expertise. The core value of our bureaucracy, that is public service, empathy and the compassion that the current bureaucracy brings. These core values should not be compromised at any cost, even by the lateral entrants also. Then there is also need for addressing the concerns of the existing staffs, that whatever the concerns they have, that should be addressed. For this, there should be a proper communication between the people, officers and everyone else. Then continuous evaluation and improvement for the current bureaucratic setup, so that these people can become the domain expertise as well as efficient, and the need for the lateral entrants can be reduced in future. A mains practice question that you people can write from this topic: lateral entry into civil services is touted as panacea for bringing in fresh perspective and expertise into the bureaucracy. Discuss the potential benefits and challenges for overall effective administration. Next topic is migration in India. The context of this topic is that a write-up has appeared discussing various aspects of migration and its impact. This particular topic pertains to syllabus of your GS paper 1, population and associated issues. So what does migration means? This means the movement of people away from their usual place of residence, either internal within country or international, that is going outside the country. India has approximately 45.36 crore internal migrants, means people who are migrating within the Indian border or from one state to another state or from one district to another district, and it accounts for 37% of population as per the 2011 census. 99% of total migration was internal, and international migrants comprised only 1%, means most of the migration is happening within the borders of India. Now if we look into this data, that is data of internal migrants in India from 1981 to 2011, you will see that it has consistently increased from 1981 to 2011. Especially the intra-district migration have increased manifold in past few decades. Now if we look into forms and patterns of migration, first is internal migration, which is happening within the different states and within the different districts of any particular state. If we see this table, state with highest external migration, the highest number is in Maharashtra, where the percentage of external migrants are 11.21%. Then in table 2 we can see the states with highest internal migration. that the percentage of internal migrants are highest in Uttar Pradesh. The pair of states where highest share of migrants come from and migrate to, the people have migrated from Uttar Pradesh and they have migrated to Maharashtra, and this constitute almost 3.7% of external migrants. Then the next form is forced migration, which happens due to various law and order situation, for example ethnic violence or the communal violence, etc., or due to lack of proper essential services or deep rooted poverty, etc. Then the temporary migration that can happen mainly for getting better education or some short term employment opportunities, for example the seasonal employment, to capitalize or materialized to get gain from those seasonal employments or to get particular education in any one particular state. These kind of migration are called as temporary migration. Then third is the reverse migration that happens especially from the people who have already gone to other places. When they return back, that is reverse migration. For example, one of the highest migrants are going from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar to Maharashtra in search of better employment. But these people who are coming back to their native places, that is case of reverse migration. And the best example for this is COVID. When this COVID-19 pandemic came, the people have reverse migrated because the industries were shut. They did not have any opportunity for working. So instead of living at those places, those urban places, they return back to their native places, and that is one of the example of the reverse migration. Then the district with highest proportion of migrants, the district name like Mumbai suburban, which is in Maharashtra, is almost 1.1% of population is of migrants only. Then many of the districts in the Maharashtra have a large migrant population. If we look into various factors for migration in India, first are the economic factors. Here we can see some of the pull factors and some of the push factors. For example, pull factors like better healthcare, peace, food, education, city life, jobs, money, etc. The push factors like climatic disasters like droughts, incessant rainfalls, or cases of cyclones, etc. Then the poor farm productivity, farmers' yield, etc. War or poverty, or law and order situation, ethnic violence or communal violence, all these are the push factors. Now many of the people, especially let's suppose they come to Delhi for the coaching, that is a pull factor, because there is a tendency that people think that the better education facilities are available in the Delhi, and that's why they come to Delhi to get coaching, and that is a pull factor, reason of pull factors for this migration. Then the socio-cultural factors, like for example the marriage that happens. So this also due to various social and cultural reasons migration happens. Various political factors, again that the things that I have talked, especially is for due to the various reasons like lack of better employment opportunities, lack of industries, poor quality of life at their native place. All these are some of the reason also for the migration. Then the environmental factor, especially due to the climate change related incidents. For example, the cases of droughts are increasing in some of the places. The productivity is declining. The farmers' yield is declining. That is also one of the reasons for pushing people to go towards other places. Now you see that in table 5, migration for economic reasons, the people who have migrated from Uttar Pradesh to Maharashtra are highest, that is almost 2.6% of external migration. Then migration for marriage, people migrated from Uttar Pradesh to Maharashtra almost 1.1%, that is one of the socio-cultural reason. So what are the various impacts of migration? The first, economic consequences, that better remittances we get, especially in case of international migration, that the people who are going outside the country to get better job opportunities, then they get better remittances and they send back. That leads to better foreign exchange earning for us. India is one of the highest remittance getter, especially from the people who have migrated outside. Then the labor availability, it can increase the productivity of that place. For example, if people are migrating from the Uttar Pradesh to Maharashtra, the labor productivity there can increase. Then the another negative impact is that urban overcrowding. This leads to coming of various slums at various places. Also, it leads to overcrowding at different places. Then the demographic consequences. that population redistribution. It alters the population distribution within the country. The population density gets impacted. Rural demographic imbalance. The out-migration of young and skilled individual impacts the rural areas. And the related impact is the feminization of agriculture. When this out-migration happens and most of the men who go outside in search of better job opportunities, it is the females who take lead to work on the agriculture, and that leads to feminization of agriculture, where more of females are working in agriculture sector. Various social consequences like social change, introduction of new ideas and technologies, especially in the place where these people are going. Then cultural exchange, it leads to interaction between diverse culture, leads to a composite culture where it increases the unity and integrity. Social cohesion increases between different kind of people belonging to different regions. But a negative impact is that it also leads to conflict or violence at some places. That has been seen in some of the states where the son of soil movements have came, that there is apprehensions by local people or native people in that states that these people who are migrating from other states are taking the jobs of the locals, and that is where some of the cases has happened where there has been violence between migrants and the local people. So what are the various challenges faced by the migrant workers? The economic challenges include low wages and the exploitation, because these people who have migrated to the different states, their bargaining capacity is low. So they are forced to work at a lower wages. These unfair labor practices and underpayments creates a economic challenge for them. Then job insecurity. These jobs are irregular and temporary employment is there, so that makes their life insecure. Then the lack of proper social security benefits, like they have limited access to health care, pension and unemployment benefits. Also, the working environment conditions are also not very good. Then debt bondage. They are trapped in cycle of debt due to high recruitment fees and other financial burdens. It is very important to understand at this point that these people, these migrants, they have migrated from their rural areas or from their native places to some of the states or districts in urban areas to get better job opportunities, to earn. Now, whatever the employment they will get, whatever the working condition they will get, they will be working in that itself, because they have come from their native place to get work, to earn. And these situations sometimes becomes detrimental to their life as well as security. Then various social challenges like isolation and discrimination. These migrants face prejudice and social exclusion. Various language barriers. They face difficulty in communicating with the host community or the place where they have migrated. This has been a lot of issues, especially the people who are migrating from North India to Southern India. They face difficulty in communicating with the local people. Then lack of access to education and healthcare, limited opportunities for personal development and well-being. They, because of the poor working condition and improper social security nets, they do not have access to education and healthcare. Then the family separation also leads to experiencing emotional distress due to being away from loved ones. Various legal challenges like irregular migration status, and this makes them vulnerable to exploitation as well as deportation, especially in case of the international migration or out migration. What happens if you look into the movie Donkey, which is a movie of Shah Rukh Khan, that how people are migrating by overpowering or overcoming severe difficulties while traveling from one place to another place. They do not have legal visas, no proper passports, etc. And still they are going to those countries so that they can get better job opportunities there, they can earn well. Then lack of legal representation, difficulty in accessing legal aid and protection, especially whether it is in case of the out migration in different countries or even into the different states. They find it difficult to get legal aid and protection. Human trafficking, they fall victim to organized crime networks also. Various environmental challenges like climate change induced migration. That many people are going for migration because of displacement by natural disasters like droughts, etc. and environmental degradation, that soil if has become infertile at that particular place, so they will be bound to go to any other place. Then urbanization and overcrowding. For this also they are facing challenges in adopting to new living condition, especially the poor working conditions like slums, etc., where they do not have even proper basic facilities like sanitation, potable water, etc. What are the various government initiatives that has been taken to address the issues that are faced by the migrants? Code on Social Security that provides insurance and provident funds for interstate migrant workers. One Nation, One Ration Card, which provides flexibility in choosing the ration shops, that even people who have migrated from their native place to some urban areas, they can take ration from the fair price shops in the urban areas also. This provides portability into the ration cards. Then draft national policy on migrant workers, which follows the rights based approach, and it improves the collective bargaining of the people, that helps them reducing their exploitation and increases their bargaining power. Then the remote voting facility, which has been used on the pilot basis, it facilitates voting for the domestic migrants from the remote locations also, that helps in realizing their political rights, democratic rights. Various COVID-19 relief measures, that because COVID-19 have led to lot of migration in India, and especially the reverse migration happened. So to address the challenges that are being faced, government have taken various measures, like the e-Shram portal was launched, which have the database of migrant workers, so that in future if there is need arises, the needs of or the issues of these unorganized migrant workers can be addressed. Then the food distribution under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, affordable rental housing, Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, to provide employment for the returnees, who are people who are returning to their native places. So what needs to be done? There is need to strengthen the labor rights. There is need to provide proper social security, as well as income security, as well as job security. Then again, we have to expand the social safety nets. We should provide proper insurance, proper provident funds, and proper working conditions. We also have to strengthen the interstate coordination, especially between the states which are witnessing lot of migration. For example, the states like UP and Maharashtra. There is need for proper coordination between these two states, so that needs and issues of the migrant worker can be addressed holistically. There is need for sustainable urban planning, because due to the burdening of the urban areas or metropolitan cities like Delhi, there has been lot of slums that have arisen, that is creating lot of issues, that is leading to unsustainable waste generation, clogging of drains, etc. So there is need for sustainable planning, so that overall urban issues can be addressed. Then there is need for facilitating skill development. If the skill development of the migrant workers will be done, their bargaining capacity will be increased. And in this regard only, the Chandrababu Naidu, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, have called for doing a skill census, where we can map the skill sets that the current migrant workers have and what is the demand of the industry, so that those kind of skills can be provided and these workers can have better income securities as well as bargaining. We also need to develop counter magnet cities. What does this concept of counter magnet cities say? It says that, let's suppose this is Delhi. Now, lot of people are coming to Delhi, especially in search of better jobs and better employment opportunities, because in their native place or the nearby cities, they do not have better facilities. For example, in Patna, people who are nearby Patna in state of Bihar, if in Patna they have proper opportunities of jobs as well as education, they will not come to Delhi, rather they will go to Patna itself. All the people located in the vicinity of the Patna or people belonging to Bihar will go to Patna itself. They will not come to Delhi. But for this, we will have to develop Patna properly, so that industries are not reluctant to go there if they have proper land acquisition policy in the district of Patna, if they have proper power availability, electricity availability, proper law and order facilities. Then government handholding is also being provided. So Patna can be developed as a good place where proper employment opportunities can be created. So here the government policy measures are going to play an important role. So it will help in de-burdening Delhi, because now people will prefer to go to Patna itself rather than coming to Delhi. In this regard only, the several experts have said that we can develop several counter magnet cities like Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh, or Ludhiana, Kota in Rajasthan, Lucknow or Bareilly, etc. This can help in de-burdening the metropolitan cities like Delhi. Then there is also need for enhancing the international cooperation, especially with regard to the out migration that we see, to ensure that people who are going outside, they can have a safe and sound journey as well as proper employment opportunities there. A mains practice question that you people can write from this topic is that internal migration in India has witnessed the significant surge in recent decades. Discuss various aspects of this demographic shift, particularly in terms of urban infrastructure, employment and social fabric. Our next topic is tragedy of road accident. The context of this topic is that 11 people were killed and 26 were injured in a major road accident in Bulandshahr district on Sunday afternoon. This particular topic pertains to syllabus of your GS paper 2 government policies and interventions and syllabus of your GS paper 3 infrastructure. Let's try to look into some data first. As per WHO, almost 1.3 million people are getting killed due to the road accident worldwide, but the 1/4 of this death is happening in India only, and in India almost 3 lakh deaths are happening as per the WHO, and 66.5% of this death is happening in the age bracket of 18 to 45 years, and 83.4% of total road accidents are happening between the age of 18 to 60 year, which is the working age group. Now this data is from the road accident in India 2022 report. As per this data, almost 19 people are dying every hour due to road accidents. If we look into the road accident in past 10 years, in the year 2022, almost accidents, more than 4,61,000 accidents happened, and it led to more than 1,68,491 fatalities. And these are some of the data which are conservative, means some of the unreported data are not counted here. So the actual numbers are much more higher than this. If we look into the state-wise road accidents that are reported, Tamil Nadu is one such state where the number of accidents as well as fatalities are much higher. Now, if we look into the anatomy of road accidents, okay, before looking that, you should know that total length of national highway was almost 91,000 km in 2014, which have increased to almost 1.43 lakh km in the year 2021. We are building more than 37 km per day of national highway as per the data of 2021. Now, if we look into the accidents that are happening by type of road, mostly are happening in the national highways, state highways, and on the expressway we have less number of accidents, and on the other road, that is district road, rural road, most of 40% of the accidents are happening. Then if you see by the use of safety gear, accident which are happening by not wearing helmets are almost 30%, and more than 11% are accidents which are leading to fatalities that are happening or by not wearing seat belts. So by not following even basic safety etiquettes, most of the people are losing their lives. And if you look into this data, that is road accidents by vehicle type, 33.8% are with regard to the two-wheelers. And if we look into the road fatalities, here also the two-wheelers are higher than 34.8% people. Means most of these people are not following basic safety measures like wearing helmets, etc., and that is causing lot of fatalities. If we look into the major reasons, for example, man-made causes like speeding, it have led to almost 1,19,904 deaths in year 2022. Driving drunks on drugs, that is almost 4,201 cases of deaths. Driving on wrong side, almost more than 9,000 cases. Using mobile phones, almost 3,395. Jumping traffic signal also led to more than 1,462 deaths in year 2022. Then the poor road infrastructure, non-maintenance of these roads especially, and not properly following the norms that should be followed in building a smooth road is one of the reasons. Also, the non-maintenance of these roads are also leading to a lot of accidents. Then the vehicle conditions, especially the people are preferring the poor and ill-maintained vehicles where they are not going for proper services at the regular interval of time. That leads to mechanical failures like steering fail or brake failures, etc. So these vehicle conditions also lead to severe accidents at multiple times. Then the mechanic failures, as we have talked, the mechanical failures like brake failures etc. are also reasons for the road accidents. Then the poor awareness, here the people know, still they avoid even following the basic safety norms of basic safety etiquettes like wearing helmets and seat belts. So this lack of awareness is also one of the major reasons for rising cases of road accidents as well as for fatalities. Then ineffective law enforcement, whatever the law that are in place, whether it is wearing helmets or not jumping the traffic signals etc., even these basic laws are not properly enforced. There is lot of corruptions here, and especially with regard to the lower level officers who are not taking lead in enforcement of these laws properly. Then various initiatives that are taken by the government to address the issue of road accidents, like if we talk about the global initiative Brasilia Declaration on Road Safety that came in 2015, it provides for global commitment to halve road traffic deaths and injuries by year 2030. Decade of Action for Road Safety 21 to 2030, which is a UN-backed initiative to prevent at least 50% of road traffic deaths and injuries by 2030. International Road Assessment Program, which is an organization dedicated to saving lives through safer roads. If we look into the initiative at national level, Motor Vehicles Amendment Act that came in 2019, it increased the penalties for traffic violations, established Motor Vehicles Fund, Accident Fund, and created National Road Safety Board to look for overall issues comprehensively. Then the Carriage by Road Act 2007, which regulates common carriers, limited their liabilities. Control of National Highways Act 2000 provides for control of land within the national highways. Then National Highways Authority of India Act 1998, which establishes authority for the development and maintenance of the national highways so that the accidents on these national highways can be reduced. Now what should be done? What should be the way forward? First, there is need for improving the infrastructure, especially with regard to road design and engineering. For this, we need to follow some of the international best practices, especially the practices that are followed in countries like Japan etc. Then for pedestrian and cyclist safety, there is need for proper roads for them also, proper lane for them also. Then there is need for also promoting the public transport so that private vehicles on the roads can be reduced, and that will also help in to some extent reducing the accidents on road. Then with regard to vehicle safety, there is need for mandatory safety features like seat belts, airbags etc. Whether it is in the small vehicles, utility vehicles or heavy vehicles, they need to be provided mandatory. Vehicle inspection should be done rigorously without any delay and without any corruption, that whatever the pollution norms or whatever the condition of the vehicles, that whenever they are being checked, we should ensure, the law enforcement agencies should ensure that they are in proper condition. Because if a vehicle is in improper stage, they are keeping their lives in danger. Apart from this, they will also keep someone else's life in danger on the road also. There is need for promotion of safer vehicles. For example, the vehicles who have a better safety ratings, they need to be promoted. Driver behavior and education, here stricter enforcement of traffic laws, penalties can be increased because to some extent they create a deterrent effect. There is need for driver education and training. Whenever these people are getting their driving license certificates, driving license cards, that should be done properly. That regional transport officers and officers should ensure that any person who is being given the driving license is the person who knows all the safety measures that needs to be followed, and he have proper knowledge to drive any vehicle. There is also need for more awareness campaigns. Here there is need for proper collaboration between state governments, local governments, central government, as well as civil society organization and non-governmental organization. We also need to address the distracted driving, especially the calling of phone calling, talking on phone etc. needs to be avoided. Next is emergency response, that there is need for improving the emergency services, especially during the golden hour period, which is the period just after the accident. We need to provide proper ambulance facilities and proper hospital services in that golden hour period so that the lives of people can be saved. There is also need for developing more trauma care centers so that the fatalities can be reduced, so that because the proper medication and the emergency facilities can be provided if there will be proper trauma care centers. There is need for technological interventions also. For example, intelligent transportation systems needs to be promoted. For example, there are some facilities like ADAS in vehicles that are coming. Also, there are facilities which is detecting the drowsiness or sleep by the driver. So these kind of technologies needs to be promoted in the lower end vehicles also. There is also need for speed control devices so that the speed limit is properly followed by the people who are driving. And there is also need for proper alcohol detection system, because lot of these accidents or fatalities happens due to the consumption of alcohol and driving after that. Now, mains practice question that you can write from this topic: road accidents have become a major public health concern in India. Examine the primary factors contributing to this menace. Suggest comprehensive measures to enhance road safety and reduce the toll of road accidents in the country. Our next topic is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Context of this topic is that FSSAI have launched a project to assess microplastic contamination in food products. This topic pertains to syllabus of your GS paper 2 statutory bodies and syllabus of your GS paper 3 food processing. The FSSAI is an autonomous body under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. It is established under the Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, which is a consolidating statute related to the food safety and regulation in India. The vision of FSSAI is to build a new India by enabling citizens to have safe and nutritious food, prevent diseases, and lead a healthy and happy life. The mission of this body is to set globally benchmarked standards for food. They also encourage and ensure that food businesses adhere to these standards that they are benchmarking, also adopting good manufacturing and hygiene practices, and ultimately enable citizens to access safe and right food. Some of the functions that these FSSAI do is they lay down the standards and guidelines in relation to articles of food and specify appropriate system for enforcement. They specify limits for additives, contaminants, pesticides, veterinary drug residues, etc. They also lay down the food labeling standards, including claims on health, nutrition, specified dietary use, and food category system for food. They also lay down procedure and guidelines for accreditation of certification bodies and laboratories. They prescribe the procedure and enforcement of quality control in relation to any imported article of food into India. Now, you see that despite these measures, 12% of tested spice samples failed quality safety needs, and some of the popular brands like MDH and Everest, whatever the exports they have sent to some of the countries like Singapore, they have been returned back because of the residue of pesticides in them. That shows that non-adherence to the standards that are given by the FSSAI by these companies. Various initiatives that has been taken by FSSAI like Eat Right India, which is a comprehensive initiative to promote safe, healthy and wholesome food. RUCO, or Repurpose Used Cooking Oil, which is initiative to collect and convert used cooking oil into biodiesel. Then Food Safety Training and Certification, which is a program to train food handlers and improve the hygiene practices. Diet for Life, which is an awareness campaign about metabolic disorders and healthy eating. Our next topic is Indian Coast Guard. The context of this topic is that sad demise of Indian Coast Guard Director General Rakesh Pal has happened in Chennai due to cardiac arrest. This particular topic pertains to syllabus of your UPSC Prelims, current events of national and international importance, and syllabus of your GS paper 3, various security forces and agencies and their mandate. Indian Coast Guard is an armed force that protects India's maritime interest and enforces maritime law with jurisdiction over the territorial waters of India, including the contiguous zone and exclusive economic zone. It was formally established in 1978 by Coast Guard Act 1978 as an independent armed forces in India. The blueprint for a multidimensional Coast Guard was conceived by visionary Rustam Ji Committee. The parent ministry, it operates under the Ministry of Defence. The administration, it is headed by the Director General, Indian Coast Guard, and the headquarters of this Indian Coast Guard is located in New Delhi. Various functions that they perform: search and rescue, that they assist vessels and fishermen in distress at sea due to the various climate change or cyclones, etc. Maritime law enforcement, they prevent smuggling, illegal fishing and protects India's maritime zones. They also address various issues related to marine pollution. Then they also protect the offshore installations like the oil rigs, gas platforms and other critical infrastructures in the maritime zones. Then they also are one of the important responders in case of disasters. They participate in disasters relief efforts such as cyclones and tsunamis. Now let's look into prelim snippets. In this, our first topic is Army's assault canine. India's Army K9 Jack, a Belgian Malinois used in exercise Mitra Shakti, which is a bilateral exercise conducted between India and Sri Lanka. This is a dog breed which have strong muscles, and just a 2.5 years old Jack has been meticulously trained at RVC Center and College in Meerut to handle variety of complex tactical situations. His skill set is tailored for specialized operations such as fighting in built-up areas, cordon and search operations, search and destroy operations, jungle searches and area sanitizations. Next is Central Consumer Protection Authority, which has been provided under the Consumer Protection Act 2019. The objective of this is to promote, protect and enforce the rights of consumers as a class. It consists of a chief commissioner as head and only 2 other commissioners as members, one of whom will deal with the matter related to goods while other will look into the cases related to the services. Various functions that this performs: they conduct investigation into violation of consumer rights and institute complaints prosecution. They order recall of unsafe goods and services. They order discontinuation of unfair trade practices and misleading advertisements. They also impose penalties on manufacturers, endorsers, publishers of misleading advertisements. Next topic is UN peacekeepers. UN peacekeeping helps especially to the countries that are torn by conflict, create conditions for lasting peace in those countries. This is a unique global partnership which brings together General Assembly, Security Council, Secretariats, troop and police contributors and host governments in a combined effort to maintain international peace and security. UN peacekeepers, who are often referred as blue berets or blue helmets, they provide security and the political and peace building support to help countries make the difficult early transition from conflict to peace. While most peacekeepers are serving in the military or police, 14% are civilian also. You can see why they are called blue helmets here in this picture itself. Next is trademarks. What happened? A Pune court has recently refused to pass an injunction order against a Pune-based burger joint from using the name Burger King after a long legal battle of spanning almost 13 years. Court says that the Burger King trademark belongs to the US headquarter fast food chain, but the Pune eatery was not in violation of trademark as it has been using the name Burger King since 1992, much before the US company started doing business in India under its trademark. So what happened? There has been a long legal battle that is going on between a Pune-based eatery and the Burger King, that Burger King have alleged that these people are using their trademark. However, the court says that before the coming of Burger King, that is US-based Burger King, into India, this Pune eatery was using this trademark. So this is not the violation of trademark. So trademark are a symbol or logo, design, word, phrase, color, sound or a combination that are specifically used by any company. Let's also look into some other IPRs like patents, which are new novel innovations that contain an inventive setup and has an industrial applicability. Then copyright are the literature, sound recordings, paintings or sculpture, book or poetry or screenplays. This was all from today's Analyst. Thank you for joining this session. All the very best. Keep studying.